Hello guys, so welcome back to the Crew Wildrun. Driving all cars and bikes. Part number 10. The BMW S1000RR. That's what we are looking for here. And this is how it looks like in full stock. Haven't changed the driver here or anything. It comes with a perfect and a circuit spec. Perfect meaning the performance spec. I often call it perfect, but officially it's the performance spec. If you change into other languages, it's called sport spec. A racing machine in comparison with the last video where it was more like dirt and race, mainly for stunt races with the 1200. This is a real road racing machine. The performance spec and the circuit spec. Also here, these things were flying NOP all over the place for a long time, or at least from November when they brought the Wildrun expansion till about April, where they repatched the bikes and made a mess out of them. The main problem is corners. Especially for people like me who play with a keyboard, corners are a big issue. If you hit the highway, then you are still going to be very good with this thing, because speed they do have. What are we comparing here? I'm guessing BMW, this one with the Kawasaki Ninja sorta. This one is a bit slower, top speed wise, but it handles a bit better, so it can take the corners. Of course, as always with the bikes, easier to dodge traffic, for instance, than with the car. Acceleration they do have, especially in the lower gears. And also here, just like with the dirt and race spec in the previous video, leaning forward is the key here. If you do not lean forward, you lose a lot of speed. Well, you not really lose a lot of speed, but if you lean forward, you gain speed, let's call it that. If you just drive on throttle, then you kind of have a normal speed, but you will gain 15, 20 or maybe even more kilometers an hour by leaning forward. Let's have a look at the acceleration. So it is a perfect spec. That means that the slowest we had so far, 24.4 I think, if I'm not mistaken. No, 24.2 for the Aston Martin Vantage in performance spec. And the fastest was the Aston Martin Vanquish with 22.8. As always, 1 mile drag, I hit a full nitro bar on the quarter mile point. Kind of dies out a bit. 23.9. That's somewhere in the middle of the pack, I guess. What are we talking here? Let's see, quickly have a look here. I see, for instance, a Bentley Continental doing also a 23.9 in performance spec. The biggest problem with the bike is the April 2016 patch, because these things were smoking as well in performance as in circuit spec. It was always a choice between handling with this one, which was a bit more, you're a bit more in the advantage here compared to the Ninja, and the Ninja had a bit more top speed, although it's not that. This thing under slipstream can still do 400 and something, not 100% sure about the speeds, but so it can still be used for speed traps or something, but yeah, well, like I said, the Ninja is faster, so for a speed trap you probably are going to be in the advantage with the Ninja Kawasaki. Although if it has to do with corners and stuff, then this might come into play, because it just handles better. I am going on the, if you see the driver sort of come straight a bit, then I'm going up the lean forward key. But it has pretty good brakes, and it just sort of dives into those corners. But you yeah, you have to slow down sometimes to come out of the corners, otherwise you're not making the corners. Which was not the case before the April patch. Now they did repatch the bikes a bit somewhere in May or June, which kinda made them a bit better again. But it isn't like it was before the April patch, so... But still, I have been using this one, not sure in performance or circuit spec, in PvP lately, and I did win a few races with it. If the corners are not too sharp, or one corner coming up next to another, then you do have a shot with this one. You might lose a bit in the corners, but acceleration coming out of the corners, because acceleration in lower gear is pretty good. So you can catch up again, get a bit of drop from the cars that are in the PvP race, and you have a chance with this, if you're a bit familiar with driving it. Although if you are able to win, it's not going to be easy wins. You're always going to have a fight on your hands, and that was not the case before the April patch. It was pretty simple. If you were the only one with the bike, you won. In performance, in circuit, that was kinda the thing going on there. That's probably one of the reasons why they patched them. They were a bit too OP. But this one, well, it's still fun to drive. As long as there are not too sharp corners, because then you really have to brake heavily or harder, way more harder than a car. Moving to the circuit spec, I have a 23.6 with the Bentley, and also with the Alfa Romeo 8C I did a 23.6, I believe. Let's see what we get here. A 22.0, the fastest car or bike that I have tested so far. Video number 10, and we are close to a 22 seconds. Okay. So we cannot say that this one has bad acceleration. While the performance sort of was in the middle of the cars or bikes that we have tested so far, this one really smokes the two circuit specs that already been tested with a 23.6, the Bentley and the Alfa Romeo. 22 seconds. Let's drive it like this. This is how I normally drive bikes, and see what we can make of it. You might need a bit of nitro here and there to mainly to change the gears, because it well, it tends to stay long in the high revs before it actually switches up the gears. So a quick push on the nitro there might help you. The brakes are a bit less here on this one than on the performance spec. Reason probably being that this is also faster. It's the fastest we've tested so far on the mile, so acceleration not a problem. That it does have. Especially if you put in some nitro, which they pretty strong one. Just the corners you have to slow down every time. It's not like you could take them full throttle before the April patch, but well, was getting close though. And now you have to slow down way more to get through the corner. S corner coming up, right, left and right. Pretty smooth. Jump pretty smooth if you go off the lean forward key, otherwise it's just like with the 1200 it starts doing stunts on you. Speed not a problem, immediately over 400. I think it limits at 417 or something if you drive it solo on a downhill, but it can go to 448 or something with some slipstream, I believe. But again, that's the problem where it kinda loses to the Ninja, because the Ninja is the one that can reach the highest top speed, both in performance as in circuit spec. This one handles better, so twisty tracks, if you do a let's say a bike race on twisty tracks, you might go for this one. And then you have the Ducati Diavel, which also has a circuit spec, and yeah, well, that will come up shortly in one of my DAC videos. And I think, personally, I think that's been underestimated. But this one, all in all, it's fun to drive. Unfortunately, with the April patch, kinda killed them. The repatch did make them a bit better again. But the cars, if we're talking about really racing, then the cars are just faster now. But it can be used. And handling wise, this one is better than the Ninja. Top speed wise, this one loses a bit compared to the Ninja. BMW 1000, that was part number 10. I will see you guys in the next one, and bye for now.